Praise be to God. I'm back to do another video. And after attending my nephew's funeral in Memphis yesterday, he was a young man, murdered a couple weeks ago. And I've been wanting, especially after attending their funeral yesterday, I wanted to do a video off of it. And I think the Lord gave me something. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? Be careful of the company you keep. Be careful of the company you keep. Right here in this verse, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. My nephew was a church boy. Grew up in the church. Started singing when he was a baby. And he loved singing. He loved church. Love it. We all grew up in the church. But the truth is the truth. Everybody that goes to church, not saying him, but I'm saying, finna paint a picture. When the Bible say, be ye not unequally yoked with unbelievers, you can go to church and think that you in the company with believers. I'm 46. And right today, people my age in church or even older, they tend to think that everybody in church is a believer. And it's foolish to think that way. But mind you, everybody really don't search the scriptures. They really don't study the Bible. People that go to church out of tradition, they go to church because they love to sing. They love all the aspect of having church. But when it comes to the scriptures, very few people take to the scriptures. And that's how a lot of people are able to be deceived through the church, in the church. Everybody that goes to church, singing in the choir, preaching the preach on it in the pulpit, on the usher board, deacon board, what have you, that don't mean that they are believers. The day and time we living in now, you can look all around. You can see a whole bunch of mess going on in church. Whole bunch of mess. Every denomination. East Coast to West Coast, North to South. Here in the United States alone, a whole bunch of mess is going on in the church. The Bible speaks of them time. It will come a time when man want to endure sound doctrine. Nobody wants sound doctrine. Why? Sound doctrine is convicting. Sound doctrine let us know where our sin is. Sound doctrine put it out there, conviction. People don't want to be told what is right or wrong through the scriptures. But they want to hold this Bible. I'm talking about preachers. They want to hold this Bible solely for their benefit. But when it comes to them living according to these scriptures, striving to live according, they don't want to hear it. I was at my nephew's funeral yesterday, and it was sad, sad, sad what I saw, what we saw, what we witnessed up in there. 2.5 hours, 3 hours, where I was there like 2.5, 3 hours. It was sad from the pulpit. To the people that were there, the people that he ran with, the people that he associated with. Clearly not of the Bible, clearly against the Bible. Be careful of the company that you keep. When I go out in public, I expect to be amongst the heathens. I don't go out in public expecting to be surrounded by righteous folks. When I go out in the public, I expect to be amongst the heathens. But when I go to the church, the house of prayer, I'm expecting to be amongst the saints. We all should expect it. But the church has become just another place to socialize, to mingle. We see this in today's churches now. People don't want the truth. People don't want the scriptures. They don't want the hard truth of the Bible. They want to go to church, shout, praise, dance, and all this, and still do everything the world do. Want to dress like the world, want to look like the world, want to act like the world, and want to be right. Don't want nobody to give them the scriptures that'll show you the right way. They hate it. They hate the truth. They want the scriptures. They want preachers to preach stuff that make them feel good. Stuff that will console us and make us feel with no conviction, what I'm trying to say. What I saw Saturday, all them people jumping around in their funeral, buck jumping, shouting, crying, and all this, but I was looking at them. That's my nephew. I didn't go to the funeral looking to find fault, to judge nobody, but I can't ignore what I saw, even in my own family. When y'all get through with all that shouting, with all that crying, with all that fake praising, what about this scripture? What about this book? I give y'all a pass on Saturday, funeral. Y'all celebrating my nephew's life. But what about this? It's obvious that y'all really don't care about this. This right here. Because I saw people in there call themselves preachers, pastors, and Lord knows. Be careful of the company you keep. I thank God that my mama taught me when I was younger about running with bad company. A lot of people grew up in the house with parents. They told you. Mama maybe you grew up in a single parent home, but mama or dad tried to do the best you can to warn you about running with bad company. Luckily, even though I was taught that being kids, you still gonna tend to go out and do a little stuff here and there that Cause fooling, you're a child. You're gonna do the stuff. You're gonna do some hard-headed stuff. But luckily, I found that out in the early age in school. I messed around and got caught up with a little gang in school. So-called gang. I decided to start running with them cats. Started picking on folks, messing with people. I guess, now that I think about it, I guess they call themselves initiating me. They sought me up to go fight a boy. We supposed to be in a gang. We're going to go out and fight some certain people after school. They're going to set me up to go out and fight a boy that liked me and I liked him. We were cool. And after school, when I went to fight him, he like, what I ever do to you, LeVar? You know, he done nothing to me. I remember him to this day. He done nothing to me. We were cool. He liked my son and stuff like that. I had nothing against him. But I let that bad influence me to do something crazy. We were supposed to go out there and fight him and jump on him and some other boys. And while I was trying to fight him, I got sucker punched. Almost knocked me out. He just didn't have the strength to knock me out. I know who did it. All I could do, I realized them guys weren't going to help me to take off running. I had to wear that embarrassment for a few months in school, swollen jaw and stuff. I couldn't go home and tell my mama what had happened. I had to hide it. But you see what bad company would do for you? Luckily, I learned that lesson at an early age. A lot of people didn't learn that lesson. But I had already knew it wasn't right what I did. So there was a lesson learned. Thank God I learned that lesson back then. I'm 46 years old now. I don't have no criminal record. I don't run with a crowd of folks. I never did. And since I came 21, I never ran with a bunch of other people. Now, you know, it would be a time where you get together and go out with other guys, but I always did stuff with older men. I guess in a way God just shielded me all along anyway. I was down in the country hunting and fishing with older men, killing hogs and stuff. I never really took to the city life, running in the street with boys and stuff. When I started to go out and date girls and stuff like that, I ran by myself. I never ran with a bunch of guys. And it pays. That's wisdom. Be ye not unequally yoked with unbelievers. That's why the Bible talks about discernment. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try every spirit. Every spirit in church is not of Christ. It's not of God. They come to do exactly what happened to me. Deceive you and get you caught up in a bunch of mess. That's what the devil come to do. Gonna destroy you physically and spiritually. Don't be deceived to think just because everybody, they in church shouting, dancing, praying, and look like they really got the Holy Ghost because they shedding tears and stuff like that. Don't be deceived by that. And that's what I saw, sir. The whole funeral, they just wanted to buck jump, shout, dance, and all that, all the Holy Ghost. And a whole lot of them in that service were punks. Whole lot of them in that service were lesbians. That's the type of crowd my nephew ran with. That stuff is bad in Memphis. Church is full. Church is full. Homosexuality. So-called preachers, bishops, got boyfriends, surrounded by their boyfriends in church. Punks. One came up in there holding a purse. They wasn't hiding it. But them the ones that were falling out, singing, shouting, they were celebrating. They were celebrating him. They would, I mean, if you want a live funeral, those are people. But when it's all over and done with, like this Sunday morning, how much of this they getting back to them? That bad company, it what took him out. That large circle of people you run with, that y'all run with, I seen that. A lot of them boys that I grew up in school with, in the neighborhood with, a lot of them guys are dead and gone, or in jail, or somewhere on the street corner bumming, while I'm thriving. I got a family. I'm out here working. I don't have no criminal record. I'm still living. I'm still healthy. Still looking halfway decent. I see a lot of girls that I went to school with. They look run down. Old. Barely making it. Bad company. Bad company. Even in the church. Bad company in the church. You can't run with everybody. You can't be freeing everybody because they say they are saint. They call they sing in the choir. You got to have discernment. You got to sit back and observe people. I've never been the one to go to church and fall in love with folk. Some of my people are like that. They'll fall in love with people at church. Go to church and visit. That thing, you know, they buddy. They going out, hanging out with the folk. They doing this. Bad company. People don't mean you no good. You can go out and do wrong. You can go out there and sin on your own. Because that's all they doing. When church, they buck jumping, interfering service, praise serving. When church is over, what they doing? Somewhere doing a whole bunch of sinning. If they gay and lesbians, what you think they doing? They don't care nothing about this. It's just what they do. Be careful of the company you keep.